Well, hey everybody, somebody had told me that the SJ5000x Elite had a new firmware that came out at 1.5.4 and wanted me to try it out. So here's some sample clips and a little issue that came up. This is 1080 at 30. Now 1080, 60 frames per second. See the zoom in work. Okay. .30 frames per second, no zoom on 2K. That's interesting. 4K, 24 frames per second. Back to 1080 at 60. So I guess what are my final thoughts about this new firmware 1.5.4? Well, as you saw, 1080p at 30 frames per second was very glitchy. It was really all over the place. I tried out the 1.5.3 and I wasn't really impressed with it. You know, the 2K looked okay. 1080 at 60 looked okay. The 4K, you know, it is interpolated, so, but at 24 frames a second it looks okay. But I will tell you that I set all the settings, so the normal settings that I always use: sharpness on strong, high contrast, wide dynamic range on, the microphone volume at 9. So I set the camera up with this new firmware like I normally would, and that 1080p at 30 frames per second was horrible. And you know, keep in mind, you know, I just test these firmwares and I just show them to you because, you know, we're the consumer, we're the ones that purchase these products, and I like the fact that SJCAM continuously puts out new firmwares to tweak and to improve. But then again, I guess it's up to people like me to be able to test some of these firmwares to see how good that they are. I didn't match it up to the 1.4.6, which is my personal favorite out of all the firmwares. My second favorite that I usually keep on my test camera, and I say test camera because out of the two SJ5000x Elite cameras that I have, one of them is set at 1.4.6 firmware. The other one is my test mule that I change firmwares on, and just to be able to kind of compare it. And my second favorite firmware is the 1.5.1, which after looking at this footage, I immediately put the test mule back to 1.5.1 because 1.5.4 is, in my opinion, not a good firmware upgrade. I think with the Novatek 96660 chipset, SJCAM has gotten the best that you're going to be able to get video quality wise with everything from having zoom, and the audio sounds good. It's not great audio and fantastic audio, but it's really good compared to the other SJCAMs from the earlier lines, and plus the earlier firmwares for the 5000X Elite. One thing I noticed was that the zoom does not work at 2K. Did not even try it at 4K. I figured, well, if it's not going to work at 2K, it's probably not going to work at 4K. So, but anyway, hope that you got some use out of this. Like I said, I like doing these firmware tests and showing you what they look like. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and be sure to share it. And also, if you have a question, comment below, because I respond to all comments. And if you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe today and click on the bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video.